It is indeed true that Disney Plus got us a unique series that blended both horror and comedy perfectly with the Goosebumps series in the backdrop of our autumnal schedules. As the 10-part series aired its finale recently in November 2023, there are speculations about Goosebumps Season 2. Here, we share what we know thus far about the series. Disney Plus and Hulu are yet to officially announce the status of the Goosebumps Season 2, but noticing the series of Season 1 has reached its endpoint, there are higher chances that the makers will soon reveal the news about the fate of Goosebumps Season 2. Although series producer Connor Welch has surely envisioned a future for the show, it could probably mean that Goosebumps has a long way to go ahead. Sharing news from comicbook.com, Welch said, "We lucked out so significantly with the cast that we were able to assemble for the show. These 5 relatively unknown young adult actors just immediately found a chemistry and were able to play into the very nature and organic dynamics they had within the group. Our hope is to follow this group of kids and adults for many, many more seasons and many, many more episodes to come. Because we do have every one of the books of the canon at our disposal, and there's just a lot more to dig into." In October 2023, producers Connor Welch and Pavan Shetty shared that since there are several Goosebumps books, they would be willing to explore more elements from the Night of the Living Dummy books in Season 2. They also shared their expressed interest in developing additional seasons for the show. So, when would there be a potential release of Goosebumps Season 2? Well, if the makers are seriously planning for the second season of Goosebumps, then there is no strategy in place when the audience could get the further seasons. Looking at the trends, the first series announcement was made for Goosebumps in 2020, and the live-action reboot has been in the world. However, it wasn't until February 2022 that it was reported that Disney Plus selected the show to start with the production process. So eventually, the filming of Goosebumps Season 1 started in October 2022 and continued till February 2023. And as you already know, that Season 1 just debuted in October on Disney Plus, as the SAG-AFTRA strikes have ended amicably, there are higher chances that if the makers start the work on Goosebumps Season 2, then we could find a release date at the end of 2024. If you have been a fan of Goosebumps Season 1, then you would probably already be aware that the series is inspired by the best-selling book series written by R.L. Stine. Together, the series has over 200 books and went on to become the best-selling series for many years before Harry Potter was launched. The American supernatural comedy horror television series has been developed by Rob Letterman and Nicholas Stoller for Disney Plus and Hulu. The series ditches the anthology format of the 1995 original TV series to concentrate on a serialized manner of storytelling instead, while still starring several of the present Goosebumps monsters and items. So, did you love the reboot of the iconic 90s franchise, which was the most favorite of fans? Well, this time, Goosebumps Season 1 showed the story of a group of 5 teenagers who initiate a journey on a twisted investigation to find out the reality behind the miserable passing of a teen named Harold Biddle 3 decades earlier. In the final episode of Goosebumps Season 1, it is shown that the group of teens come back from their Seattle trip only to know that their loved ones and all of Port Lawrence are in severe danger from a new evil that has taken control over the town. Interestingly, this episode left several people on the edge of their seats, but does leave the audience imagining whether or not there would be further to explore in the series. So, if Season 2 gets confirmed, who can likely star in the promising series? As the show is led by a cast of well-known and rising talent in the industry, and probably the same group of teens can sign up for Season 2, Justin Long as Mr. Brat, Rachel Harris as Nora, Zach Morris as Isaiah, Issa Briones, Miles McKenna as James, Anna Yi Puig as Isabella, and Will Price as Lucas are likely to star in the potential Goosebumps Season 2. What could be the story of Goosebumps Season 2? Looking at the gang that was faced with the mystery to solve regarding Harold Biddle's death and his following haunting of them, we can assume that Goosebumps Season 2 would also contain its own characters and horrors. In terms of the main roles played in Season 1, things may change for them as well in Season 2, as the audience was made to guess whether or not some of the characters of Season 1 would admit their real feelings for each other or not. Looking at the breakup of Margot and Luke, there was also a simmering love triangle between Margot, Isabella, and Isaiah. We shouldn't forget the jump scares that Slappy the Dummy treated us to throughout Season 1. But could he be back for more? If there is one thing that we are assured of in Goosebumps Season 2, is that there will be some kind of villain, and Slappy has definitely thrown several spanners into the team's lives so far. Season 2 is yet to actually release an official trailer. However, Season 1's trailer and episodes can be watched at Disney+. Season 1 really has got mostly positive reviews from critics, who have also appreciated the story, visuals, cinematography, writing, acting, and casting, with a specific amount of recognition going towards some of the monster designs and the darker, more serious tone. However, some critics found flaws in the pacing and some of the monster designs of Season 1. Per the official logline, the series follows a group of 5 high schoolers who unleash supernatural forces upon their town and must all work together, thanks to and in spite of their friendships, rivalries, and past with each other, in order to save it, learning much about their own parents' teenage secrets in the process. Season 1 had 10 episodes, such as Say Cheese and Die, The Haunted Mask, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, Go Eat Worms, Reader Beware, Night of the Living Dummy, Give Yourself Goosebumps, You Can't Scare Me, Night of the Living Dummy Part 2, and Welcome to Horrorland. At the end of the Season 1 finale, it was shown that Isaiah was in the ICU and not supposed to live. However, Margot utilizes a similar spell that heals Kandu on him. It was Mr. Brat who learned that he had been possessed by Kandu once again. So, if the makers really want to grab more attention and keep the audience hooked, then Season 2 of Goosebumps can be posed as a good starting base on the finale episode of So, is there going to be a darker take on R.L. Stein's children's horror novels? The remaining cast also voiced their interest in what they would like to see if Season 2 gets confirmed officially. There's so many books from the original book series that haven't yet been brought to life in our show, so bringing those in and adding those extra elements I think is going to add a whole new layer and also have a real nostalgia factor to people who love Goosebumps, said Morris. More monsters, more ghosts, more ghouls, and more Goosebumps. For his part, Miles McKenna said that he would like to see his role, James, on the football field, considering he has been the mascot for too long. After watching Goosebumps Season 1, have you become obsessed with the show? Share your views and thoughts with us in the comments section below. If you liked watching our video, click the like and subscribe buttons to our channel. Stay tuned for more sci-fi and fantasy videos.